Hey dudes, how's it going? Welcome to another video upload from Aspie with Attitude. You're right now watching an autistic YouTube content creator channel from the voice of a worldwide autism community. To introduce myself, my name is David, I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I have a bit of speech impairment and a speech impairment. I have autism and I have Asperger's syndrome, and that's why I call myself an Aspie. For this video upload, I'll be talking about another famous singer and an iconic pop star. To give you a quick recap, I know I've done Peter Talk from the Monkeys, something that I did for episode 183, and I know I've uploaded this on the 28th of June 2021, since this is the highest viewed and the most liked video on the whole entire channel, Aspie with Attitude. And also there was David Byrne, the frontman of Talking Heads, something I did for episode 251. It was in the middle of March 2023 that I actually did Courtney Love, the front woman from an American rock group called Hole. So I'm going to talk about Michael Jackson now. What I like to do now is, first off, I'm actually going to take you through the life story of Michael Jackson briefly before I even talk about, is it true that Michael Jackson is autistic? Michael Jackson was born on the 29th of August 1958 in Gary, Indiana, USA. He was the 8th born while confined in a 2-bedroom home. Michael had made his debut in 1964 alongside his 4 older brothers that had formed the Jackson 5, and this led to Michael having a very terrible childhood. It was by the age of 13 in 1971, Michael Jackson began to pursue his solo career while still signed under Motown Records like Jackson 5 was since 1964. In 1979, Michael Jackson had released his first solo album, Off the Wall. By the 1980s, he released iconic music videos throughout the golden age of MTV. It was through the success of MTV, Michael never stopped releasing innovative music videos such as Billie Jean, Thriller, Beat It, and Bad. By 1987, he released his second album titled Bad and continued to release innovative music videos. It was by 1991 he released another album called Dangerous, including Black or White. And this is where Michael Jackson's music and dancing career did peak, and pretty much in the late 80s and the early 90s he did his job breaking down racial barriers, particularly in the USA and in South Africa. And throughout the 80s, he was dubbed as the King of Pop. It was by 1993 his career began to go downhill after he was accused of a child sex offence, since his downtime was spent around children. The accusations and the lawsuits continued for the next 16 years until his death on the 25th of June 2009, when he died at the age of 50 in California. As it happens, when I was actually looking up ideas for videos and other pop stars or any rock stars that might be on autism spectrum, I did search on Google and it did say, oh, is Michael Jackson autistic? This is something I really like to discuss here. Alright, first off, there's just no evidence that Michael Jackson did have autism, despite his strange behaviour he had throughout the late 90s until his death on the 25th of June 2009. Michael Jackson had never been through an autism diagnosis, since people who believe Michael Jackson was autistic do get a habit of looking too deep with his hyperfixations in dancing, especially that he was quickly acclaimed as a child prodigy. Michael Jackson did have a rough upbringing when he used to be part of the Jackson 5 since 1964, lacking mainstream childhood upbringing through his formative years, since he's been at it since the age of 6. Instead of playing with other children at his own age in his formative years, he was instead put under a lot of immense pressure to perform with the Jackson 5, especially this being the 1960s, while Jackson 5 was signed under Motown Records. Jackson 5 did experience child abuse in his childhood when he performed badly, which involved whipping. Michael Jackson remained throughout his childhood that he was socially isolated from his same age peers. That way, he was unable to play like any normal children. Instead, he's just forced to do the dance and sing with the Jackson 5. And I still do not believe in Michael Jackson's child sex abuse that happened throughout the 1990s. And just like what I said in the introduction, as an autistic individual, one of the many voices in the worldwide autism community, I dare say that Michael Jackson is neurotypical. To explain his strange behaviour, such as I once heard that he never wears the same clothes twice. Once it's worn, it's never worn again. Well, which is a bit of a strange routine that people might pick up on the fact that Michael Jackson's autistic when I say he is not autistic. And Michael Jackson had appeared to be mentally disturbed, and he had post-traumatic stress disorder, also to abbreviate as PTSD, after the abuse he experienced when growing up as a member of the Jackson 5 since 1964 from the age of 6, as I talked about how he used to get beat up, I think, by his father. Well, not sure about that. Anyway, he did cop a bit of a whipping if he did perform badly under Jackson 5, which was actually pretty harsh, especially that he was in a family of 8, living in a small 2-bedroom house in Indiana. But yet again, there are still a handful of people who actually still believe that Michael Jackson had committed child abuse, since it was a very big news in the mainstream. And this is something I do not believe, despite that it used to be always in the mainstream media throughout the late 90s and throughout the 2000s up till his death. I am one of the many handful who do not believe in the case and the allegations that was made against Michael Jackson, as well as that I do not even believe that Michael Jackson was even on the autism spectrum. Just a mentally disturbed person, like someone who's probably gone through a midlife crisis and all that. And I know he was best friends with Macaulay Culkin, the child actor who actually played as Kevin McAllister in a classic Christmas movie called Home Alone. Pretty much in the same boat and everything like that. Which means people just see that Macaulay Culkin didn't act weird and anything like that, despite he was neurotypical. It's just they never had a normal mainstream upbringing when they should be playing with kids to pretty much nurture and grow, something that Michael Jackson never got to do. So like, if Michael Jackson was never involved in the entertainment industry, he'd just be a normal person and we wouldn't even know who Michael Jackson is at all. He was just a king of pop throughout the 1980s, as we all hear it. So anyway, that all concludes the video now. Since that I did say that Michael Jackson is not autistic, since that I've read it through Reddit and all these social media platforms. Also, please do so, leave a comment down below. Just let me know what you really think. And also, if you like what I'm doing here, please, why not subscribe to Aspie with Attitude? That's all I ever ask for in terms of support. And also, please, don't forget to ring this notification bell if you want to keep up to date with Aspie with Attitude. And please, don't forget to like and share this video content around. That way, you're showing more support for this channel. Well, dudes, anyway, this is all out of time now. This is how I'm going to pull this one off, since that many of the viewers are probably watching my video for the first time, because it's all about Michael Jackson. And finally, speaking out if Michael Jackson was really autistic, after I did say no probably about 4 or 5 times already. That's why the video must end with this now. That's how I'm going to pull this one off. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening to Aspie with Attitude, peace and respect, and see you next time.